Imagine this: entire swaths of the ocean where no fish swim, no coral grows, and no life can survive. These are not fictional places, they're real, and they're expanding at an alarming rate. They're called dead zones, and they're multiplying faster than anyone predicted. Right now, over 400 dead zones exist around the globe, covering an area larger than the size of the United Kingdom. The largest one ever recorded was in the Gulf of Mexico, spanning over 6,000 square miles, a biological wasteland where oxygen levels are so low, nothing can survive. But what's causing these underwater deserts? Could they impact more than just fish and crabs? And most importantly, could they threaten us? Dead zones, scientifically known as hypoxic zones, are areas in the ocean with dangerously low oxygen levels. Marine life, from tiny plankton to large fish, relies on dissolved oxygen to survive. Without it, they suffocate or are forced to flee, leaving behind lifeless expanses of seabed. But here's the catch: these zones aren't naturally occurring. They're caused by us, humans. Agricultural runoff, untreated sewage, and industrial pollution are dumping vast amounts of nutrients into our oceans, triggering an explosive growth of algae. When this algae dies, it sinks to the ocean floor and decomposes, a process that consumes oxygen. The result? An underwater apocalypse. Dead zones have increased exponentially over the last 50 years. In the 1960s, there were only around 50 recorded. Now, there are over 400 and counting. Climate change is making it worse, as warmer waters hold less oxygen, amplifying the crisis. In some cases, these zones are permanent. The Black Sea, for instance, has a hypoxic layer so depleted of oxygen that it's effectively dead from 650 feet downward. And in the Baltic Sea, dead zones are growing so rapidly that experts warn it could soon become one of the most oxygen-depleted bodies of water on Earth. You might think, so what? It's just a few areas of the ocean. But dead zones don't just affect marine life. They affect us directly. Over 3 billion people rely on seafood as their primary protein source. Dead zones threaten the very ecosystems that sustain this vital food supply. In the Gulf of Mexico, the dead zone forces shrimpers and fishermen to travel further and spend more, leading to smaller catches and rising seafood prices. In economic terms, these zones cost coastal industries billions of dollars annually. And it doesn't stop at seafood. Dead zones create a domino effect, disrupting oceanic food chains and diminishing biodiversity. Coral reefs, already under threat from warming oceans, cannot survive in oxygen-depleted waters. Without reefs, the ecosystems they support collapse, impacting everything from small fish to apex predators. And here's something even scarier. Ocean currents carry low oxygen waters to other regions, meaning dead zones aren't just staying put, they're on the move. Consider this: some of the largest dead zones in the world are just miles away from bustling cities and thriving coastlines. These areas, which were once rich with marine life, are now eerily quiet, save for the occasional drone of passing ships. As these dead zones creep closer to shorelines, they threaten not only marine biodiversity, but also human livelihoods and coastal economies. The global fishing industry is already feeling the pinch. As fish stocks decline, fishermen are forced to push deeper into the ocean, venturing into more dangerous waters. For many coastal communities, these changes mean economic ruin. Imagine waking up one day to find that the waters that fed your family for generations are now barren. This isn't just an environmental issue, it's a human crisis in the making. Low oxygen waters are no longer confined to the ocean's depths. They're rising to the surface, choking out species that have nowhere else to go. Entire ecosystems are collapsing under the weight of this invisible threat. It doesn't take much to see how this could spiral out of control. When one part of the ecosystem collapses, the effects ripple outward. Fish populations plummet, predators lose their prey, and the delicate balance of life in the ocean is thrown into chaos. The ocean currents, which play a vital role in regulating global climate, could even be disrupted by the spread of these hypoxic zones. The good news is that dead zones are reversible. In the Black Sea, for instance, the collapse of the Soviet Union inadvertently led to a dramatic reduction in fertilizer runoff. Within years, marine life began to return, and the waters started to heal. This shows that with the right policies and collective action, we can make a difference. Reducing agricultural runoff is one of the most effective solutions. Farmers can adopt sustainable practices, such as planting cover crops, reducing fertilizer use, and implementing buffer zones near waterways. Improving wastewater treatment infrastructure is equally important, especially in densely populated areas where untreated sewage continues to flow into the ocean. We also need to address the root causes of climate change. Rising global temperatures exacerbate hypoxia by warming ocean waters and decreasing their capacity to hold oxygen. By transitioning to renewable energy sources and cutting greenhouse gas emissions, we can help slow this process. The oceans have an incredible capacity to heal themselves if we give them the chance. But time is running out. Every year we delay, these dead zones grow larger and more difficult to reverse. Dead zones are a chilling reminder of humanity's impact on the planet. But they also represent an opportunity, a chance to rewrite the future of our oceans. The question is, will we rise to the challenge, or will we let these silent killers spread unchecked? Do your part. Reduce waste, support sustainable practices, and spread awareness. Because the health of our oceans isn't just a marine issue, it's a human one.